Hey YouTubers, this is the Fishing Educator here. Got a video today gonna show you how to check for leaks that you may have in your lower unit. I noticed the other day that I had a leak in my Honda 40 horsepower 1999 model in the lower unit, and so we're gonna try to just go through. I'm gonna take you through what you need to check. 9 times out of 10, well, I won't say 9 times out of 10. First of all, if you think you have run your engine, your outboard, your boat aground, the first thing you need to do, check with your outboard, check that lower unit for cracks. That's the biggest problem. Hate to see that when that happens, but 9 times out of 10, if you run it on the ground, you probably cracked your lower unit. That's not what this video is about. That's a bad day. That's usually, in most cases, a total replacement. This is one where I have a leak that is developed. There are seals all throughout a lower unit, and I'm going to show you today how to kind of diagnose this and look at some of the areas that do have the seals. These seals come in kits. You can buy them online. You can buy packages, and so I'm going to kind of show you what the issue is with this particular model that I think is going on. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Alright, so you have your water pump assembly here. I noticed that with this particular lower unit that I pulled out, everything was fine in here. I wasn't seeing any sort of leaking at all. My issue was right here. This is the piece that connects to your throttle, your linkage, your shifter linkage, and there's a little boot that's here. And when I removed that boot and kind of brought that up, there was a lot of lower unit fluid in here. The lower unit fluid was milky color. It should be blackish. This was more of a milky color. So there are some seals down in here that we're going to need to get at. So the first thing we're going to need to do is take off this screw. I do need to redo the water pump assembly, so I'm going to end up replacing all of this as well with the gaskets and the water pump. Since it's been a couple of years, I like to do that every 2 years. And so let's go in here and start by removing this right here. Alright, so we're going to take off this bolt right here. I'm not going to waste your time and have you guys watch me take bolts off. If you want to take these 4 bolts off, that'll be the first step in taking off this water pump assembly. Trying to get down into here, this assembly is going to need to come off for me to get this piece out. So that's kind of the goal as we start here. Alright, so I took these screws out, popped up this first part. This will be the first part that you want to take off. As you take that off, there's going to be... I'll take that off. There will be a little bit of a cup that you're going to see. Hold on. This cup is what houses the actual water pump. So you want to take that part off. Then you want to take your actual water pump out. Just kind of work our way across. What I mean by working my way across is the parts I take off first, second, and third, I just put in order. Makes it easy when you put things back. Then this plate comes off. You will have to pry this out just a little bit because there are gaskets that are on there. Those will need to be replaced. Do not try to put those on. If you're in a pinch and you don't have gaskets, you can always use what they call gasket maker. And then you're going to need to pry this off. I had a little difficulty. Got in here with a screwdriver and kind of pried these points where the bolts go, and you will end up taking this out. Once we do that, we are now in a position to get access to this. With a screwdriver, you can get right in here and start prying this up. So I'm going to go ahead and pry that out, and let's see what we've got in terms of seals when we're in there. Alright, so you'll notice I took my screwdriver, kind of worked my way around this lip, and have pried this loose. This is where my leak was. This was covered in, maybe I could have shown you when I took this apart, but this was actually covered in lower unit fluid. And lo and behold, as you pop this piece out, you will see a rubber gasket right around here. And
that is going to be where I'm going to assume that my issue is coming from. That little O-ring right there is probably the culprit to my leak, and that is probably a $2 part. Once I replace that, we should be good to go. So that's going to be my plan of attack, and then getting this water pump changed out, just make sure everything looks good. Bearings are in there, everything looks good. Again, that's one of the spots where you may have an issue with leakage, as I did. So that'll be my goal, is to get that changed out and see if we stop that leak. Alright, so this was that bottom piece that was on all the way down here. I'm going to go ahead and replace these pieces as well. There is a right in the middle there, you're going to see there's another O-ring that's there. So I'm going to link all of these parts, the parts I'm going to get. You can look at the bottom housing here, that is going to need to be replaced, so I will take care of that as well. You know, I need to get a new O-ring on the inside of here too. It's just good practice to take care of all that when you're doing it. So again, I'm going to link all the parts on boats.net, the website. You can go to order all these parts, get this replaced, and to get not only this seal, but I'm going to also replace this. There's a little bit of movement in here. I don't want to take any chances. Again, it's a 20-year-old engine, literally thousands of miles on it, and I am going to just get that all replaced. Probably looking at maybe $75, $80, $100 to get this all done, and everything should be good to go. So sure beats bringing it to the shop. Let's go ahead and get these parts in. Again, I'll link those parts.